Hey everybody, my name is Dave. I teach people how to play the saxophone. If you're looking for private lessons, which is a great idea, and you live here in Southern California in the San Diego area, come on by. Dave's Garage is open. I can fit you in. And of course, online from anywhere in the planet Earth. More details, reach out to me, davegoodsax@gmail.com. I'll get right back to you, or you can leave a comment in the comments below. All right, I'm still messing around with a baritone sax reed, bari sax reed, on my tenor sax. This is a Metallite mouthpiece, a Metallite M7 that I borrowed, and I'm still trying this piece out too. So I'm kind of in that, that place, that funny place where, you can't quite figure out what it is you want to get out of a mouthpiece and a reed combination, and I'm not sure if I'm getting it. I've tried playing this for so many people. They must see me coming. They go, oh God, no. They just tell me what I want to hear at this point, because I think I've drawn from that well. But at some point, I'm sure I'll figure it out. I may even go back to tenor sax reeds. Now, bari sax reeds, you're probably asking, why baritone sax reeds on the tenor sax? I did an episode about that a few weeks earlier. Look it up. I won't go into that right now. But speaking of comments, I want to answer one today from Patricia. Patricia is one of the 210 of you, thank you so much, 210 followers, who has made comment a few times. And this time around, she has asked to get some guidance in something that we all care passionately about, right? Well, most all of us, right? Who are improvisers, are soloists, people who are learning to solo on our instruments. And she would like to know how to make her solos more original. She said she does all the stuff. She does all the, the rhythm substitutions, the melodic substitutions, everything that you can do to make, a solo work. She plays big band and traditional jazz, and she's a solo chair, and she says her solos just don't sound original to her. Now, there was another thing that she put in her comment that was telling to me, right? Revealing is a better word to use. And she said that, I paraphrase here, Patricia, excuse me, but she said she hates to listen to playback of herself. Raise your hand if you're in that same club. I know. I think Sonny Rollins, you've all heard of him, famously may have said that he never actually listened to performances. Other people that, we know who are, fabulous sax players don't listen to themselves either. Probably for that reason. It's kind of intimidating. I find that in fact, just turned down another studio gig because I'm not very good in the studio. I have what's known as red light fever. You put those headphones on, that saxophone sound makes you feel like you're 12 feet tall, and then you start criticizing immediately. Why did I play that note, you idiot? What are you doing? And pretty soon you've lost your nerve and your ability to play the saxophone permanently. No, not permanently, but you get the point. You feel that way, don't you? Like, oh God, I'm just terrible. I'm no good. Well, one of the things that I wrote back to Patricia in the comments was, listening it can be kind of excruciating in the beginning, but it's a useful tool. Recording and listening for purposes of study. Playback for purposes of study only. So I thought one of the things that somebody helped me out with a long time ago was, listen to your own work as if you were listening to somebody else and you were the teacher, okay? So sort of mentally play a little game here. And then when you listen to this work, don't be critical. Just what would you tell that person? How would you help that person to improve on what they're doing? The second thing to realize is it's never as bad as you think it is, right? It never is. There's always some really good points, but our nature as human beings, and I believe Einstein pointed this out once in a very famous chalkboard exercise with mathematics and a bunch of people. He did like 9 or 10 equations perfectly, and then he did the bottom one wrong. He made it wrong purposely. He made it wrong. And the class jumped on him and corrected him. He said, no, hey, number 10 is wrong there, bozo. And he said, exactly my point is that none of you, not one of you, said, hey, great job on 1 through 9. Really great job on 1 through, you killed it on 1 through 9. No, you all jumped on the point of criticism. You criticized the mistake. Well, that's kind of what we do. We listen to ourselves and we hear those, those clams. What a great word to use for a wrong note. We find the clams and we go, oh God, I blew another clam there, or this or that, or this or that, right? That's all we hear. We don't hear the stuff that we did right. So go back to that. Listen to yourself in, like they say, the third person, or even a fantasy role. And say, what would I tell that person? How would I encourage that person? What would I figure out didn't work, and how can we make that work, right? Another thing that I would suggest is reading a book. Now, of course, we've read all the books. We have we've got. I'm sure you, like me, have stacks of practice books and every Abersold book ever printed. And all that. So you got all that stuff in your home library. So what do you need another book? No, you don't. Does more knowledge make you a better improviser? No, it doesn't. Some helps, yeah, but more no. If that were the case, then we'd all be great improvisers, right? But honestly, here's a source that helped me a great deal, and that was a book called Effortless Mastery. Effortless Mastery by Kenny Werner, okay? And he's got some YouTube videos based on his own book that are extremely helpful, okay? Effortless Mastery by Kenny Werner is another one of those things, all right? But I want to break it down even more. Here we go. You notice that on YouTube, almost every video that you see that pertains to a saxophone lesson is about learning how to play an arpeggio, or how to play augmented fifths, or how to play bebop in 5 easy steps, or how to play pentatonic scales, or whatever, right? Almost everything is about learning a technique. Almost every video. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that every video is about learning a technique. And there's a reason for that, all right? And I believe wholeheartedly in what Lenny Pickett once said. Lenny Pickett, if you don't know who he is, he's been running the Saturday Night Live show band for, I think, 30 years. He's the tenor sax player with, he's got like some kind of 5 octaves. He's amazing. Came out of the Tower of Power band. If I could play just one note as beautifully as that man, I might hang it up. I might just say, okay, we've achieved, it gets no better. I love listening to Lenny Pickett, what he does, and he's got some masterclass YouTube videos that would be worth looking up as well. Lenny Pickett says it's easier to teach somebody, let's just say a B-flat minor 7 scale, than it is to teach them how to be a person with their instrument. So Patricia, that one's for you. Lenny said that for you. He just didn't know it at the time. It's easier to teach somebody technique than it is to teach them how to be a person with their instrument. So, how do you be a person with your instrument? Well, we go through a lot of stages, don't we? And it takes time, right? It takes a lot of time. Now, one sax player's year is not the same as another sax player's year. One sax player might forget where the horn is for 6 days out of the week and find it the day of lessons. Oh, it was in the case all along. Look at that. The other sax player is going to play every day, right? And blow that horn. Excuse me. So they're not going to be the same. The key word here is play. The more you play, the better you get, the better it gets, and the more options and opportunities you have to start expressing your own self, right? And playing a lot of gigs, or playing with other people, having practice partners, or going to jams or whatever, as many times as you can get up with people you don't know and play. And obviously, if you can do that in front of an audience, it's even better, right? So play. That's where the ideas that we've all incorporated, right, that we've all learned from the masters, right? That's how we learn in art, is we copy a master. in essence, we apprentice ourselves to a master. And in that way, we absorb ideas. We put a lot of stuff up into the intellectual hopper here, the big filing cabinet in our brain between our ears. We put a lot of stuff in there, a lot of ideas. When do they become, or when do they start to, generate ideas that you feel good about and that you maybe start to think are your own? Well, it's a very sly process, and it kind of sneaks up on you, right? There really isn't a book that you can read about how to do this. There really isn't a plan other than keep playing, keep learning, keep transcribing. Oh boy, there's the word. Now, Patricia, if you're not transcribing, and I think you are. I do think you are. I'm not saying you're not. I believe you are. You sound in your comments as sophisticated a player and a student of the art. And I believe that you probably are transcribing. Keep at that. Keep transcribing, okay? And, the old standbys always work. Transcribe a lick that you like. You hear something that sounds really, really good. Somebody playing a blues scale or using some form that you really, really dig. And then, learn it and memorize it and transpose it in all 12 major keys, right, if you will. Or minor keys if it's minor, whatever, you get the drift, right? Why transpose it? Because it just puts it in your head in every possible combination. You never know what key a band's going to call it, but you got that, all right? So you're working these things over, and you're doing these things, and you're learning, and you're practicing, and you're playing, and eventually, given enough time and enough hours, right, we start to somehow slip little ideas of our own in there, or recombine, repurpose, retool, whichever whatever you want to put in there. This is what will happen, and it'll happen for you, right? But there is that place in your development where you begin to wonder, is this ever going to happen? How am I ever going to be able to sound original? And I can assure you that is a stage of development. So you are on your way, Patricia, as are the rest of you who think the same thing. Questions? Thanks so much for being here, by the way. I love doing these, and I'm grateful that some of you get some insight and some knowledge out of this stuff. Questions, comments, of course, below. Or you can, once again, direct email me, davegoodsax, all one word, davegoodsax@gmail.com, and get right back to you. All right? So get out there, play that horn. Let's have a good time. Keep playing, keep playing, keep playing. All right? Enjoy that. And enjoy your horn, enjoy the process, and know that it is a process. It is a process. It's like climbing a mountain. That's a bad analogy, but in fact, it's so overused, it's cliche, right? Okay, it's hot in here. I gotta go. I'll talk to you later.